today's paint. First of all, I apologize that I'm filming in this vlog style to open up this video. I totally forgot about an intro. I got too excited, just jumped into the paint and completely forgot to film an intro. So that's why we're doing it here. But today's paint is easily, hands down, my absolute favorite paint that I've painted to this day. But I do just want to give a heads up. If you watched my last video, I did kind of explain while I was doing the skull paint that it's really hard for me to sit here and say or give a step-by-step instruction on how to do something that is super shaded or something that is kind of skull related, because with skull paints in general, for me, I don't know about other people, I tend to bounce around everywhere and I tend to like redo things and go over things like 700 times, shade things 40 different times. So I just wanted to say that that is something that does happen again in this paint. If you're using this as a tutorial for any reason, I will try my absolute hardest to give you step by step as to what my process was, but I want you to know that it's really hard to do so because I didn't just like finish the jaw then move over somewhere else. I like did the jaw, moved somewhere else, came back and like revamped it. So and let's just go with it.
So I always start off my skull paints with a very basic kind of outline as to where I want things to go. I don't have any footage of me doing this, however I just have small lines around my face just outlining a basic idea as to where the shapes and shadowing should go. So the first thing I do is I black out my eyes, my nose, and I'm blacking out the hollows of my jaw. Then I'm filling the rest of the areas with white. It doesn't have to be super white because we're going to darken it anyway. Then to kind of give more of a gray tone, I'm just going in with gray eyeshadow and just literally going everywhere I painted white. Here I'm doing a basic kind of outline for the teeth. Now don't get super attached to this design. I do wind up redoing the teeth, I think 2 times. Normally when I paint teeth, I like to make sure that the gum line are kind of in pointed shapes. However, looking at the reference photo, his teeth are more rounded on the top when they hit that gum line, so I'm making sure to do that. I then moved away from teeth because I was slightly getting annoyed at this point with how they were looking, and I moved over to the nose bone. I wanted to recreate that kind of depth that he has in the mask, where it looks almost as if the nose bone has like 2 layers to it. Then I added the white warrior paint kind of going through his eyes. Also, I added little details such as cracks that would have been in the skull, however I do wind up taking a lot of them away later on as well. I then add the lower jawbone, and not liking the teeth, I literally erase them. Which I then redo them almost exactly the same, only I'm not using black body paint this time, I am using black eyeshadow to give more of a natural look. I'm then going with black eyeshadow and just going around the eye socket, that way it blends in as well and gives more shadow. I'm also doing this around the jawbones. Now, Ghost has these stitches that look as if it's stitched onto a hoodie or another piece of clothing from his mask. I tried it, I absolutely hated it, so I took it off and just blended them back into the paint. I then round off each tooth and highlight them using white body paint. I also do this process 2 or 3 times. Then I decided just to go ahead and highlight a bunch of different areas of my face. Now, in my opinion, the stripes that go across his eyes are not entirely white. They are of a cream peachy kind of color. So in order to do this, I took eyeshadow and I took a very, very light ivory color and mixed it with orange. Then I thought I was done, so I started to black out the rest of my eyes. But I decided to add more highlights in with the teeth. I'm highlighting the areas where the roots of your teeth would grow. I'm not 100% sure how to describe that area, but that area, just to give more depth, and I thought it just pulled everything together. One thing I absolutely loved about this paint was whether I had my eyes closed to get a pure skull effect or I had my eyes open, they both looked super dope and just really, really cool.